Welcome to the next day of adventures here in Panama. We're at Volcan Baru. I gotta tell you, this is not what I expected it to be. Why, you might say? Well, because when I hired the taxi and we're driving up here, it's a really gorgeous valley. I mean, the various agriculture, the various parts of town as you're coming up and up and up and up. And then they've got coffee that they're growing here. This is what they're known for. It's what they were originally known for, I guess I should say. Now they're known to be a massive retirement area for United States and maybe Canadian, I don't know, expats. But anyway, so the guy told me he would bring me to the entrance. Well, this is definitely the entrance, but he also made it sound like it was going to be some kind of visitor center. Hold on, there's someone here. All right, I should have recorded that because that driver of that van says it's just a 5-minute walk. So that's not too bad. I was fearing that this was just gonna be, this is it, and good luck. But if there's a visitor center up there, 5 minutes, that's fine. Now I do wish, because when I was down in town, I was asking about the various buses, who can take me to Volcan Baru. And well, the buses had already left. And then there was a taxi there in a Toyota Hilux. And I was gonna go see what his cost would be. And since I've got this road that I have to walk up now, I really wish I had gone with him because he could have just driven up here. Whereas the guy in the little tiny Toyota that I ended up riding with, he didn't want to come up here. So I'm kind of on my own, and now I'm doing the slow slog up this fairly steep road to the visitor center. But as this is I guess he's pulling away now. It's finally obvious that I'm looking to come up here and not go back down to town. As this is a retirement center, I met a guy in the store last night. He just kind of assumed I lived here. I thought that was kind of funny. Saw him again today because I had told him about this other bakery. He was looking for a birthday cake, and I was like, well, there's this other bakery on this other road. He was commenting how the grocery store had done some remodeling and they got rid of the bakery. I was like, I have no idea. I've been here 3 days. I didn't say that, but that's what was going through my mind. And so happened to cross him on the street again today, and we chatted for a little bit. Ex-military from New Jersey, and he's just loving it down here. The weather's great. Of course, when you're up in the mountains, the weather is definitely great. And then the cost of living is just so much less. Although in Boquete, possibly not so much less. He was giving me the prices. I forget exactly what it was. But he said if you go just outside the security zone, so I didn't realize there was some kind of security zone, but if you go just outside the security zone, he said that the costs are probably 1/4 to 1/3, somewhere in there, of what they are in Boquete. So yeah, if you're looking to move down here, then Boquete is very expensive compared to the rest of the place, but still very affordable, generally speaking. If you're coming from some place like New Jersey, like he was, or California, what have you. If you're coming from a place like, I don't know, Kentucky, or like myself, Northeast Oregon, maybe not so much. Maybe not as big of a savings as you might expect. All right, let's get ourselves up to hopefully it's a visitor center where there's people and whatnot, but maybe it's just a sign. I don't know. Figuring it out. And that's what this trip is all about. Just having fun, going by the seat of my pants, and taking you, well, not every step of the way, but many steps of the way, all in the pursuit of finding some great subjects to get some hopefully amazing photographs. All right, we'll pick it on up yonder. I see a sign already, so that is good. Well, this may be a shorter trip than I expected. It says security recommendations. It's not allowed to travel the path without a certificated tour guide. And that's what I don't have. It's also 13.5 kilometers. I can't remember exactly what that is in miles, but I know that's close to 8 or so. I'll put the calculation up here on screen for you. I've got everything else. I've got my 3 bottles of water. That would last me for that time frame. I've got all day, so I could do it. I just don't know if they're going to let me in. If there's someone here, they're going to let me in without this tour guide, or if they offer them on the spot. So I'm going to go see. It says to enter the national park, you must contact the following email for online payments, etc. Well, we'll see. There's a guy here, so I'll inquire. Well, that wasn't too bad. So I use Google Translate. Thankfully, there's a signal right here. I use Google Translate to ask if I could hike for a couple of hours. And he said I could. It's a single pathway, so I'm not going to get lost. And I'm just going to see what I see. This is a national park, so I expect it to be beautiful and all that other good stuff. But when I looked online, there just wasn't that much info. So I didn't want to dive too deeply, but initially there just wasn't much anyway. So even realizing that I had to have a guide, I was a little bit surprised by. But when I told him I only wanted to go a little bit of time, he seemed to be okay with that. Hola! Looks like they're building some new structures here. Ooh, I just hope it's not this steep the whole way. It might only be an hour if that's the case. So I've got my standard lunch, got my 3 bottles of water, cameras are fully charged, well, except this one. I was only able to charge it to about 75-78%, somewhere in there. But anyway, onward and upward. After about 10 minutes of walking that fairly steep hill, it finally, and then a few overviews, it's gorgeous up here, but it finally kind of sort of evens out, at least for a little bit. And the walk is getting much better, and we're going into an actual area where there's trees on both sides, and it feels more like what I was hoping for. It's interesting, there's some coffee plants just kind of almost naturally growing. I don't know that I can call it actually natural, but there's so much coffee in this area, I'm not surprised that it's spread a little bit. And on my way up here, we passed by this thing they call an eco park. And so if this doesn't work out, maybe I'll just go back down and see what the eco park is about. But anyway, this road is much better right now, so I shall proceed. I'm going to be looking for, right now, the weather's great. It's very overcast. It was raining real hard this morning. The first time in a little over a week that I've been here now, the first time that we've had a distinct break in the weather pattern. It's always been sunny no matter where I've been. It's always been sunny in the morning, and right around noon, between noon and 2 o'clock, the clouds start to roll in. By the time you get 2:30, they're nice and thick clouds usually, and then the light is like this. Well, for some reason today, the light is like this, and it's probably, I would say, going to be like this all day. If it looks promising for sunset and I have a great view, well, of course, then I'm going to do that. But I could actually see sunset. If I get color in the clouds, I could see that going really well with one of those overviews of the town. So it'd be considerably closer to town, but to get that color with a town below, I think that'd be an awesome shot. I would be willing to do whatever I need to just about to get that shot. But for now, what I'm looking for is going to be kind of the same idea, the same thing I was looking for in yesterday's shoot at the Pipeline Trail, and that is the details. I was looking for wider views as well, since of course there's waterfalls there. And if I can get some wider views here, that'd be amazing. But the sky, once again, is devoid of any detail. And so anything that I get with the sky significantly in it is just going to be boring and an eyesore. And, you know, I can always bring in some cloud detail and the like if there is cloud detail. But right now, there's literally no cloud detail. So I'll be looking for some of these more intimate type views, something that is close in on the leaves. This is the kind of situation where I'm kind of wishing I had my macro stuff. I did not bring my extension tube. I don't have a macro lens for the Sony, but I left the extension tube back at home. So basically I couldn't find it. so that's why. So yeah, let's see what we can find, whether it's rocks and moss, whether it's tree trunks, leaves, bugs, birds, butterflies. This place has it all. So we're gonna keep our eyes peeled and see what we can come across. I am at the 1 kilometer mark, and so far I've seen kind of a blasé trail. There is potentially more interesting stuff up there, but I gotta tell you, my energy level is a little bit lower, a little bit waning. 2 days ago I did that incredible trail that was the Lost Waterfalls, and then yesterday I did 5.5 miles on the Pipeline Trail, and this uphill slog, I gotta tell you, it's eating away at my energy level, which eats away at my creativity interests and creativity ability is probably a better way to put it. And so I'm thinking of actually going down to the butterflies place. That's starting to sound really tempting, because there's going to be effectively some guaranteed subjects, and I'm going to probably have a really good time there. So I think I'm going to bail on this, and I'm going to get down there after I explore over that little hill right there. We've got a little structure there, and there's another structure just over the hill that you don't see right now that there was some smoke coming out of. It is certainly beautiful up here, and I love this overview of this. I assume it's coffee. It looks like coffee anyway. And I made a few shots, so let's take a look at those. And I'm really intrigued by, you know, I got some, I guess I can call it zoomed in, not really single frame shots. And what intrigued me was just the lines and how they lead the eye through the scene. And then when I go panorama, really liking how that really stretches your view. And that's just, yeah, something about that. The trick, of course, like I had mentioned before, the clouds in the sky are a little bit of a trick to get anything interesting coming through in there. Trying to get that exposure balance just right, trying not to rely on whether it's Lightroom's HDR or doing luminosity masking. It just really increases the effort in the computer, which you've heard me talk about before. And on this shot too, I'm so lazy I didn't even get my tripod out. Fast enough shutter speed that I'm not worried about any shake. I've got the anti-shake function going on the camera as well, the lens, whatever. And then with the 200th shutter speed at whatever this lens length is, I'm pretty steady. I can get a shot that works. But I'm just, like I mentioned before, my energy is a little bit draining, and when that happens, my creativity drains. So I'm gonna head over to the butterflies. That'll give me a little boost of something just because of the subject matter. But also I won't need to be walking around so much. I won't need to be hauling so much stuff up a hill, kind of a thing. Probably won't be able to use my tripod there either, but that's all right. I will sacrifice my ISO as I need to get the right shot. And then tomorrow is a transit day, so going to be a lot of time sitting on a bus tomorrow. Not going to be as long as coming out this way. This was almost 10 hours to get out here from Panama City. I'm just going to a little spot on the coast and looking forward to air-conditioned room. That'll be nice. But also just that downtime that takes to transit and then getting the energy back up for heading out and getting some awesome stuff along the coast there. All right, so picking it up at Birds and Bees or wherever I end up going, because there might be another shiny object that I have to get to and photograph before Birds and Bees. Finally made it back down off of that hill back there, but now I get to go down this way. I certainly could wait for a cab or one of the little minibuses to come get me, but I might as well walk downhill and see if there's any images I can make while I'm going downhill, because there's just so much agriculture here and so many overviews and whatnot. I'm bound to come across something, but it'll take maybe 10 minutes, 20 at the most, for a little bus to come by. And who knows, maybe a taxi will come get me first. I have no idea what the situation will be, but that's just how they roll around here. These little buses just make their loops, and I am on one of the roads for their loops, and eventually I'll get a ride. But until then, I'm gonna walk and see what I can find while walking. This is one of the coffee fields that we were driving by so quickly, and now that I'm walking, figured I'd grab a shot so we can better see what it looks like. But then it's just coffee, coffee, coffee. I am at the butterflies and bees place. I just paid my $12 plus tax. There's, I don't know, 70, 80 cents tax to go tour the butterfly house. Oh man, that's awesome.
Welcome to the butterfly house.
Thank you.
Here we have about 21 species, only from Panama, and every species uses a different plant for lay eggs and caterpillar food. Here, the green one is the malachite or malachita, and this one is the blue morph, the Morpho Eleanor, the blue one.
Oh, that blue is amazing.
When they open, the wings are blue. The gray one is the cracker. This is the common name because they make sound. Bueno, the male from this species makes sound. It's like electricity.
Cool, wow.
Yeah. This sound is to call the females and mating.
Cool.
This one is the owl butterfly.
The owl butterfly?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And they don't see with those eyes.
Right.
It's for camouflage and scare other animals. And sometimes they are little, when they are lying on the fruits, they are little drunk because they eat liquid from the ferment fruit, and we have alcohol here.
Okay.
Vamos a ver. Other species eat nectar or pollen from the flowers. And that one, the yellow black,
Oh, way over there.
is the big glasswing.
Big
Big
glasswing?
glasswing. This is
Wow.
the common name.
Sure.
Vamos a ver cuatro. Have you ever seen butterfly eggs?
I don't think so.
No? Okay. And here we have, looks here. Egg from the
Oh my
malachite, the
goodness.
green one.
Wow. Tiny, tiny.
Yeah. And this is the Mexican petunia, is the host plant. And here, look, eggs from the owl butterfly.
The owl butterfly eggs. Wow. Sweet.
This from the little one, the red black. The females lay eggs here. I can show you. Oh, it looks here. Eggs from that
Wow.
one, the little one.
Wow.
This is
Okay, down
the
here.
red postman.
Red what?
Red postman.
Postman. Oh, it's awesome. Oh man, look at this right here.
This is the life cycle from the butterfly. It starts when the female butterfly lay eggs on the leaf from the host plant. Inside from each egg grow a caterpillar. When they hatch, they are little, they are small, and then they start to eat the leaf. And then when the chrysalids are ready, inside we have a liquid. They are cells, and they join and to grow the butterfly. When the wings are dry, they start to fly. This is in the fourth or in the last stage. And they change the color in the last, they are brown. But this one or this, they need to eat more plant. They eat banana leaf. And they need to grow more like this.
Wow.
And you can touch, they are not poisonous. They are poisonous for other animals if they eat them, and they are soft.
Very soft.
You see they have corn, spikes, but they are not poisonous.
Well, this was a really cool, unexpected treat, so to speak. That is the butterfly house. There was even one at the very end when I was trying to leave. He came out with me. He flew to a little tree. I went and picked him up and then brought him back in, and then he immediately flew back onto my shirt. So I got a selfie on my cell phone with that. So that's what I'm showing you now. But anyway, fantastic place. right just north of Boquete. Very, very close, almost within walking distance. Since it's uphill, it'd probably be a little bit of a walk for most folks, but it's not too bad. I'm most likely going to be walking back to town because there's some stores and other things I just want to see along the way. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that. As I walk back in, I'll just enjoy the sights. Today was unlike any other day in that if I had a plan, it went down the toilet, and that was okay. It was marvelous just the same. Was thrilled to be able to get a little bit at Baru Volcan, or Volcan Baru, whatever they call it, National Park, and then some of the fields that are right there. And then of course, walking down, I spent an hour or so walking downhill waiting for a cab or a bus to drive by. Finally got that cab. He had 2 little kids with him. I mean, they couldn't have been maybe 5 and 6, 7 tops. And he still picked me up, dropped them right off, turned around, dropped me right off here, all for $2.50. So that was pretty sweet. All right, and that'll wrap it up for today. Tomorrow, I think I've mentioned before, but tomorrow is a transit day where I'm on my way to my next location. I don't anticipate shooting anything during that time, and if I do, it'll be very random, and I'll just include it in the next video, but tomorrow won't have its own dedicated video. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for tagging along and experiencing all this wonderful stuff that Boquete has to offer. Boquete, Panama. It is a truly wonderful place, even though it's such a tourist trap, and maybe I should just say an expat trap. There's lots of retirees that are here, but it still has quite a bit of character, quite a bit of charm, and it's really cool. I've really enjoyed my time here. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that share button. And then thanks for sticking around till the very end, and we will catch you next time. Until then, God bless and happy shooting.